It's going to be a good reading week. I have such high hopes. I think this is going to be an amazing light academia reading week, and Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we are at the start of another weekly reading vlog, and this time it's the themed vlog, and this month's theme is light academia. So this was a really interesting one for me to decide to do because I normally would do like a dark academia video. However, this year I decided to change it up and do light academia because this is kind of like a subgenre that is slowly emerging but is very slow to emerge. And when I was typing into Google about light academia book and book recommendations, the same things were coming up, which was different classic books, which is like great, but in my opinion they weren't like academia. Like Jane Austen's Emma was one that came up, and I'm like, okay, so this fits the vibe of if you were living the aesthetic of light academia, you would read a lighter classic book rather than the dark academia with the darker gothic classic. However, it's not actually a light academia book in my opinion. Also, there's a helicopter going around at the minute, so if you hear that in the background, sorry about that. But yeah, in my opinion it doesn't, because the way I see light academia is it's a book that has academic elements to it. Emma by Jane Austen, well, it doesn't. That's a romance book. There's no academia in that. It doesn't really work. If you do have any classic books that you think work for light academia, so like they're focusing on their studies but it's not anything that's going to set them down a morally corrupt path, then yeah, let me know. Something light and nice, but still also with this love for their subject. So talking about light academia and the book that I'm going to be reading for this video, so we have The Labyrinth of Drakes by Marie Brennan. This is part of the Lady Trent series, and I love this, and this to me is what light academia is. So this is the 4th book in a series, and we're following Lady Trent as she recounts her life spent studying these dragons. She wants nothing more than to become a dragon naturalist. However, she has spent her life being told that this is not a womanly pursuit, that she is not allowed to do this, that science is for men. She can be an artist, she can draw them, but she cannot study them. But Lady Trent finds a way around this, manages to get onto an expedition, and so you see her studying these dragons, and as the series progresses, creating an environment for women that is all about learning and studying and exploring different avenues of science, philosophy, etc. And I love it. So to me, this is what light academia is. We are seeing this study of this select group of animals, in this case dragons. It doesn't have to be animals, but just like this select topic, in this case dragons, what that entails and all the different adventures that she goes on as a result. Like, I love this series. This one was a gift to me from Naomi, so thank you so much. I know I'm going to adore this book. I know I am. I love this series. Also in this book we do actually have illustrations because, as I said, Lady Trent was allowed to be an artist, and that's how she kind of manages to get herself onto the very first expedition, is by being their artist. And as a result you get lots of different illustrations of the different things that Lady Trent sees, the different dragons and things. Like, it's such a good series, and I've been putting off continuing it because I kind of wanted to save it and hoard it and be like, oh, but I know I love these books and we're going to be reading it. It's perfect for this kind of video. I can't wait. And then the second book for this video is A Letter to the Luminous Deep by Sylvie Catherall, and this is one that I have high hopes is going to be that light academia setting for me. So in this one, it's kind of a bit of a mystery book as well. A beautiful discovery outside the window of her underwater home prompts the reclusive E to begin a correspondence with the renowned scholar Henry Kell. The letters they share are filled with passion at first for their mutual interests, and then inevitably for each other. Together they uncover a mystery from the unknown depths destined to transform the underwater world they both equally fear and love. But by no mere coincidence, a sea quake destroys E's home and Henry vanishes. A year later, E's sister Sophie and Henry's brother Varian are left to solve the mystery of their siblings' disappearances with the letters, sketches and field notes left behind. So that's why I think it's going to be a perfect light academia book, because it is a mystery into this underwater world and the study and the passion that these two people had for it, and then their siblings trying to find out what happened. Also, the lighting in here is awful today. Honestly, I picked the wrong place to film for this, but it's fine. But yeah, so I think this is going to work really well for light academia as well. So I'd be really intrigued what you think light academia is, what some of your recommendations are. I still want to do more research into light academia, but it's going to have to be a deeper dive than just the little bit that I did on Google, because like I say, the recommendations for Jane Austen and also Anne of Green Gables and things, it's like, cool, I can see why the aesthetic would be there for, like, if you read them, your aesthetic is this. They're not books that actually have light academia as a subgenre in it. So I'll be very intrigued, but I'm really excited to go down this route and continue my search for more light academia books, because I definitely am really enjoying this subgenre and I would love to bring it to light a little bit more, because I think it kind of is basically just a cozy version of dark academia, which is perfect. I'm so excited. So yeah, so those are the two books I'm mainly reading for this vlog. However, I do have an ebook on the go that's a carryover from last week, and it doesn't fit with the light academia vibe, so I won't be talking about it too much, but I did just want to mention it here as the fact that I am reading it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm halfway through, and that is the Discord book club pick for the month, which is The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. This is a book I've really enjoying. It's like a post-apocalyptic sci-fi mystery, which I'm really enjoying, and we're just hitting the mystery elements. So I will definitely be mentioning it like here and there, but I won't go too in depth because I do want this focus to be on the light academia books. But that is the TBR for this week. I hope you enjoy this video. It's definitely been one I've been so excited to get to. Like, I planned these videos in advance for the themed vlogs so I can choose my books for them and everything, and this has been one that I've been so hyped for ever since I decided to change it from dark academia to light academia. Yes, I can't wait. I think I've rambled enough for you at the start of this video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're all doing really, really well. Let me know what you've been up to, what you've been reading. What are your thoughts on light academia as a subgenre? It'd be very intrigued to know. I will catch up with you when I've started one of these books. I actually don't know which one I want to start off with. I'm really looking forward to both. I don't know if I want to start with dragons or an underwater mystery at the minute though. Both sound really good, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'll base it on the first sentence. Let's do the first sentence together. Let's do that. Let's extend this intro clip, because why not? Okay, so we'll start with the preface. I suspect a percentage of my readership will see the title of this volume and expect the entirety of what is contained herein to be devoted to a certain discovery that took place in the labyrinth of drakes. Okay, I'm intrigued. Chapter 1 is a letter. Okay, so letter from E to Henry in the year 1002. Dear Scholar Clell, his surname. Instead of reading further, I hope you will return this letter to its envelope, or better yet, crumple it into an abstract shape that might look quite at home on a coral reef. Ooh. Oh, both of them were a really good start. I genuinely don't know. You know what? I'm going to ask my sister and she is going to tell me which one I should read. I'm going to do that. So I will message her and I will check back in with whatever one she said for me to read. I think that's just the better way, because I don't know. I like both of those starting bits. It's going to be a good reading week. I have such high hopes. I think this is going to be an amazing light academia reading week, and I can't wait. sister chose for me to read is In the Labyrinth of Drakes. I've read the first part of this book. I'm up to part 2, chapter 7, page 105, and I'm really enjoying this. I've really enjoyed being back in this world, following Lady Trent as she's writing out what happened, and it's just so much fun. We are seeing Isabella go off on this adventure, and this time it is to try and help with breeding dragons. Now what this book does is it does talk about how, honestly, how it would be if we had dragons in our world and they had amazingly strong bones, but that are also really, really light, but are stronger than steel. We know that as a society, as much as I would love to say, oh, we would try and preserve those animals, we would have also have tried to hunt them to extinction, like what we've done with animals with like horns and things for their ivory. It would have been the exact same for these dragons, and it doesn't shy away from that. But what we do see is how Lady Trent despairs at this, and she hates the fact that that is what they're trying to do with this breeding program, is be able to successfully breed dragons in captivity to treat them like cattle. And you know, it's horrible, but at the same time I kind of like that it tackles subjects like this, because it's very much a, if we had dragons in our world, this is how we would be. So it's kind of more believable as a result. Do see a lot of difficult things that Isabella's trying to deal with at the minute. So they're gone to this desert country where these particular breed of drakes are, that they're trying to successfully have a breeding program. It's been tried and failed, and now Isabella and her companion Tom has been brought in. Professional companion, they're not actually together in any romantic way, have been brought in to try and successfully breed these dragons. However, she is shunned so much, and she's used to this. Being a woman in a scientific field, she is used to being belittled and seen as lesser, seen as how she's just trying to be a man rather than accepting the fact that she is there on her own merit, that she is really smart, that she is able to do all of these things, that she's constantly having to go against the prejudices of men, but she's really struggling in this area because they are so prejudiced towards her. And there is a underlying reason as to why, which we then find out, but it does talk a lot about society and the way women have always been like pushed down, how we've really had to fight for our rights to be able to study different things, to be able to have jobs, to be able to do these things. And because of the time that it's in, it is right for this. Like, it really is almost like it's just an alternate history to our world because of the way women are treated. Like, I do enjoy it. I think it's really good. I really do enjoy this book. I'm enjoying being back in there. I'm enjoying having Lady Trent's like witticisms come through, how she interrupts the narrative every so often about things that are going to happen or mistakes that she made at the time. Like, I'm just having a wonderful time with this book. So thank you to my sister for choosing this one. I did debate whether I should take it in turns, so like each day swap the book I'm reading, but my only problem with that is when I get so into a book, I know I'm just going to put the other one down and not want to pick it back up. So we're just going to read them one at a time and do it that way. So yeah, really enjoying this. I did read more of The Last Murder at the End of the World. That is getting so good. I think I'm on page like 360. My phone is somewhere, so I can't check and I can't bother to go find it, and my battery is low, so we're just not going to waste the time. But I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying the developments. It is just so interesting. I'm enjoying trying to work out what's going on and seeing Emery's investigation and the different things that she's uncovering, and I'm really enjoying that. So that is very good. Then on my way home from work, I popped into my local bookshop to order in a copy of the Discord book club pick that we're reading in October. Unfortunately, they can only get the paperback, which isn't being printed until the 24th of October, so I'm not going to be able to read the book club pick until like the last week of the month. But to be fair, that tends to be what happens, unless of course I get an ebook version, but generally speaking I tend to read it at the end of the month. But that is, if you're interested, it's The Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Conyers. So I ordered that, so if you want to take part in that, Discord is always linked below for you. But while I was there, I was checking out, they have like this little display thing which they change up every so often on the different books that they have out on show, and first of all I saw this, and the cover instantly intrigued me. I thought that is so beautiful, but then what really gripped me is this little sentence here that says it's been translated from the French. Had to get it. had to get it because, for those of you that don't know, every French translated book that I read, I tend to really adore, and I'm always on the hunt for new ones. So I had to pick this one up. I then was reading the back of this and it sounds absolutely bonkers. So I'm really excited to have this one as part of the collection. When will I get round to it? I don't know, but it does sound like almost like an Alice in Wonderland fever dream-esque book, which sounds great. So it says, the world of Mood Indigo is a surreal place where the piano dispenses cocktails, the kitchen mice dance to the sound of sunbeams, and the air is 3 parts jazz. When wealthy young aristocrat Colin meets Chloe, he instantly falls in love and their wedding is an extravagant celebration. For a brief time, his world continues with its happy tune. But a water lily grows in Chloe's lung and Colin is forced to spend his fortune on the only possible treatment, surrounding her with fresh flowers daily. It is not long before he must work for the first time in his life. An inventive and enduring satire, Mood Indigo is a book of wonders from one of France's strangest and most delightful authors. It sounds amazing. So yeah, this is by Boris Vian. It's been translated by Stanley Chapman and I'm so excited. I've never heard of this book, but I'm really excited. It just sounds so bizarre and unusual. It sounds a bit like when I read Swanfolk, which is an Icelandic book, which I really enjoyed, or the Rabbit Bat Literature Society, which is a Finnish book. Like, I find these sort of translated books I adore, and they're just so weird and lyrical, and I really can't wait. And then the second book I got, I'm actually making changes to my cozy reading vlog, which is going to be coming out in October. So I've been doing the series where I read new cozy book releases, trying to read 3 a month that publish in that month. So obviously I'm reading 3 in September and then the video for that will be coming out in October. I did have plans for that video. However, the new book that I wanted to read for it, it's just not a cozy book. I started reading the first couple chapters and it's not cozy in the slightest, and I really want these videos to be about cozy read. And then I saw this, read the back, looked into it a little bit, and it's a cozy book. So we're gonna go with this. And this one was published on the 12th of September, so really recently. And this is The Little Coffee Shop of Terrors by Hazel Graves. This is not a book I've heard anyone talking about, so I'm really intrigued by it. A Latte Love, A Grande Nightmare. This is about a coffee shop, and we're following Adele, who is used to being down on her luck, but then she gets an opportunity to take over a Brooklyn coffee shop, and there's a bit of a grumpy sunshine romance going on. There's some really weird, unusual happenings that are going on, and I'm really excited. I think the cover is awesome, and yeah, this is a proper cozy romance mystery supernatural thing, and I cannot wait to dive into this. So we're going to make some changes to my cozy new releases vlog, which I will start filming as soon as I've done this update, but I think it's going to be fantastic. So I'm also going to be reading this. Whether I get to start it this week or not, I don't know, because my main priority for this week is obviously the Light Academia vlog. So we'll see if I can get to it in time. I have worked out if I read 99 pages a day from this book and the Letters to the Luminous Deep, I will get both books finished this week. So if I manage to do my 99 pages a day and I have leftover time, then I'll probably pick up this one for the other vlog. So yeah, lots of different things. I'm getting used to juggling lots of like different vlogs and different books and stuff. It's a lot of fun. It keeps me really happy. I don't know, I really like having lots of books on the go. That's this update. I need to start that cozy vlog and talk about the changes on there. I'm loving my cozy vlogs. I have such good fun with them, and honestly I'm so excited. I'm so pleased I popped in. I literally only popped into the shop to order the book for Discord. Like, that was it. That was all I was doing, because I realised actually October's around the corner, I should probably get that book in. And then I just thought, while I'm here, I'll just have a little browse. And I came away with 2 books that I've never heard of, that I'm so excited for. Honestly, I love that. This is why I love independent bookshops specifically, because they always have books that I don't expect to find, like books that I haven't heard of, different books. I love that for that. Anyway, right, I'm done talking and rambling for this video. Let's go ramble in another video, which you're gonna see in a few weeks' time. But yeah, anyway. evening. It's not even that late, but look how dark it is outside. I mean, it feels late for me because I've been up really early, but it's just coming up to 8:30 of an evening. I am rather tired because I've been up since 5:30 for work, but I wanted to do a quick reading update because I have almost finished In the Labyrinth of Drakes, and I'm really enjoying this one. I just think it's so good. It's got so much to it. It's got a lot about politics. It's got a lot about them studying the dragons. Also, I hope we're in focus. I don't have my glasses on, so we'll see. But it's got a lot about the dragons, about studying them, the different things that they have to do for science to be able to study them, to be able to get the knowledge about these dragons. Some of it is really kind of unsettling because like some of the things that they have to do, so like obviously they're trying to breed dragons, and so some of the things that they have to do to understand what extremes, like what temperature do the eggs hatch in, well, what temperatures cause the dragons, baby dragons, to have defects and things, like they have to run these tests to find out these different things, which is, you know, kind of gut-wrenching, but at the same time it is the way science works. Like you have to run tests to be able to find out what is actually true, and also you can't just do it the once because that could be a fluke. You have to do it a few times to see if it's consistent. So there is a lot of that in here. There is also talk about the fact that we have a female doctor, which is very unusual for this time that this is written in, because if you think, it's kind of like almost like Edwardian time, so it would give you an idea of the sensibilities of the time. You see Isabella catching herself thinking about things in a prejudiced way, which she's like, I can't believe I did that because this is what I've been fighting against my whole life, and I've done the same thing to this other woman. But I really like that. I really like that point of self-reflection and just kind of what our prejudices are against women at these times, and even nowadays to an extent. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. The plot line that's in this is a bigger plot line that you're starting to see how it's connected to all the other books, which I really like, because it feels like they're individual plot lines that get wrapped up, which it is, but it's also leading to this bigger thing that's happening, which you're kind of seeing come together more in this book, which I'm really enjoying. So yeah, it's really, really good. The reason why I wanted to update now though is tomorrow after work I'm seeing my partner, so I don't know if one, I would have time to update, and two, whether I'm even going to be able to keep to my 99 page goal limit. Like I've actually gone over it. I'm now up to chapter 20, page 295. So technically I've gone, is it just over or just under? My brain's not working right now. I feel like I haven't, I mean, I'm close. No, I must be just under. What? Yeah. So I should be at 297 and I'm not. I'm like 3 pages under. Okay, so ignore what I just said. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit it tomorrow. I might be able to finish this book, which is good because I don't have many pages left to go, because this book, I think I've got like in total, oh okay, so 50 pages to go exactly for this book, which is pretty good to be fair. So I should be able to finish this one up, hopefully tomorrow. We'll see. The idea would have then been to start Letter to the Luminous Deep and get like 40 pages into that, but that may not happen. Like I don't actually know. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to finish this, but we'll see. I am off on the weekend, so I can catch up with my reading then, so it's really not that much of an issue. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I really, really like it. Like I really enjoy these books. They're just so interesting, and I really like how different they feel, how it really is this study of dragons and politics and the impacts that things like that have, because I feel like there's so much social commentary on the way we view resources on our planet and the conflict that happens. So like oil and the wars that have been caused over oil and the way we use that resource and abuse it really. And it's like kind of like if you just replace that with dragons, it's really interesting. I think it's really good. So yeah, really enjoying this. I have also read more of The Last Murder at the End of the World. I'm getting very, very close to finishing it. I don't have much left. What do I have left? Let's have a look. Okay, so I've got 120 pages left of this book. I'm up to chapter 61. I'm in the middle of a chapter actually, which is quite surprising because these chapters are so short. I'm surprised at that. But this is still really good. I'm just so intrigued to see how this is all going to end, and I feel like this book has elements of that academia because we've got the fact that we're on this island at the end of the world, it's an apocalyptic setting, but the people that are there, so there are 3 people there that are referred to as elders because they were there at the time that this fog came about. That's what's encircling this island and causing it so that the rest of the humanity and the world's died. They are scientists. And so you do have one particular elder who is, well, all three of them, to be fair, they're all trying to find a solution to this fault. So you've kind of got elements of that, but it is more of a murder mystery element to it and just unsettling and stuff. So I feel like it doesn't fit with the light academia vlog, but at least it has some parts of academia in it, but definitely on the darker side, because yeah, the things that are happening, wow, are they questionable. They're so questionable. And I guess this is actually a good thing to be like, I mean, I wouldn't class it as dark academia, but that is definitely where academia, the obsession, becomes dark compared to something like this, where definitely Isabella has obsession around dragons and the academic pursuit of that, but in a much healthier way, and in not a way that is detrimental to, well, anyone's morals and causing murders and stuff to happen, you know. Okay, right, I'm now just rambling because I'm tired, but I had a really nice dinner. I really enjoyed doing that. That was very nice, with the halloumi, and baked it in like tomato sauce and stuff. Like, oh, it was very tasty. I'm now just rambling, so I think I'm just gonna get myself ready for bed, potentially read a different book for another vlog, and just do that, I think. So I'll catch up with you probably in a couple of days' time when I have finished this and hopefully started Letter to the Luminous Deep. I'm having such a good reading week. Like, okay, it's just the one book so far. Well, technically 2? Technically 3 if we include the other book. Okay, well, I'm just having a really good time with everything that I'm reading, and I knew this book was going to be such a good solid hit. I actually don't know what one's my favourite. I kind of think it might have been the third book. Yeah. Voyage of Basilisk so far. I mean, I love the first book. I think it's got a special place in my heart because it's what started the love of the series, but I actually think potentially the third, I really loved that, and I loved that the commentary in that book was surrounding gender and gender identification, which I really liked. I thought that was really good. So each book does kind of comment on a different thing within society and does it really well. There's always that feminist tone to all of the books because of the nature of Lady Trent and pushing out against society, but in each book there's always a little bit more. I would say the first book probably less, and definitely more focusing on the feminism side, and then the second book looks at colonization, having a smaller tribe of people within a bigger land, and how they are seen as lesser than by people that just don't know them, and, you know, see it as, well, this is our land and you're encroaching, when actually they've been there for longer. So again, that's a big thing, big comment on history there, I think we can say. The third book looking at gender roles, gender identification, which I really like, and this book being about how we abuse the resources that we have available and the conflicts it causes as a result. So I feel like each book in this series really does tackle a good commentary on society, which, to be fair, I don't know if I ever fully kind of thought it out like that until now, but it really does that really well. I just think they're great. But right, okay, I've continued rambling on. I'm gonna go get ready for bed, and let's hope this was all in frame and that it all looked okay, because I'm not 100% sure. If I squint, I can just about, like, I mean, my sight's not terrible, but it's blurry. So let's just hope you're not the blurriness that I'm seeing. Whatever, I'm gonna go. Good night. I've attempted to do this update so many times. My words are just not coming out the way I want them to. Does anyone ever get that? I mean, the good thing is at least I can just hit pause, just refilm or edit out stuff that doesn't make sense. But the words are not wording. But okay, I finished In the Labyrinth of Drakes and really enjoyed this book. It was very enjoyable. I enjoyed all the different things it spoke about. I mean, I went more into detail on the Tuesday evening update. Like, I thought this was really well thought out. I did finish this Wednesday evening and managed to get this done even with my partner coming over, which was lovely. We had a really nice time. And yeah, I loved this book. I just think it was so interesting. I would say pacing wise, it is on the medium to slower end. There's not really any fast paced moments. There's some beautiful discoveries and things like this, but it's not really high high stake drama, but that's what I quite like about it. It doesn't feel too much like, oh my god, there's so much going on, and it's a memoir. You know that they make it through this, but I don't know, I just really like it. I thought it was really good. I like the relationships that were developed in this book. I enjoyed seeing different aspects of Isabella and the different connections that she has with family and things, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good, and as I mentioned, all the different political aspects and how that plot has evolved throughout the series, which I've really enjoyed. I'm so happy I finally read this one. I don't know why I put it off for so long. Well, I do know why. It's because I like to hoard books that I think, oh, but these are going to be so good, I can save it for a day when I'm sad, and I'm just like, yes, but we have loads of books that I think are going to be really good, and this is a series I know I'm going to reread. Like, I know I've got one more book in this series, and then there's like a spin-off book that follows another generation, and then once I've read that, I know I'm going to reread this series because I love it. This is my new comfort series. Like, with younger me, that was Throne of Glass. I would reread that series every single year. Now, am I going to read this every single year? No, because I don't really read as much, and I have a lot of books to read and all of this stuff, but will this be my comfort series? Yes. Yes, it will. I love it. I really, really enjoy this. Pleased I finally got that book read. It was definitely needed. And then yesterday, as you saw from the b-roll, I started A Letter to the Luminous Deep, and I haven't got far into it, to be fair. Could have read way more than what I actually did, just didn't read that much. I got to chapter 6, page 60. I like the formatting of it. It's done in just letters, which I like. I like that as a format, so the epistolary format is fine. I have said before that I'm not a massive fan of other forms of mixed media, so things like emails, or basically I'm thinking about the one book that I read that I really didn't enjoy, which was by Janice Hallett, which was The Mystery of the Appleton Angels. I did not enjoy it because the mixed media element in that felt impersonal, so I couldn't get a connection to the characters. This feels really good, and also, like, I read another book as well where that was a similar thing, where just some of those elements, if the mixed media elements are impersonal, I don't enjoy it. I enjoy letters, journal entries, because they are automatically more personal, and therefore I can get a better grasp of the characters and connect to them a lot better. And then this one is working really well. So the main letters that we're getting is between Sophie and Verin. Verin is the brother to Henry, who was this great scholar, and Sophie is the sister to E, who lived underwater in this house. It's called the Deep House. Now, while they were around, we don't really know what's happened to them, they started exchanging letters with one another because E saw this particularly unusual type of fish. And so she drew it, did a whole letter to Henry, thinking, oh, he's probably never even going to respond to me, but, you know, this is what we're going to do. A year later, and we have Sophie, E's sister, contacting Henry's brother, Verin, and going, hey, look, I want to look into my sister's letters, the letters that she sent Henry. I have all of Henry's ones that he sent her. Would you like those? And so they start this process of sharing information about the letters that Henry and E were sending each other, as well as information from this expedition to the ridge that was taking place at the same time. Now, it seems like the world is completely underwater. Everything's submerged. You've got a lot of places that live out on things that are just above the water. You've got one place that's actually landlocked, but the rest of it all seems to be these little islands that survive on top of the water. And it's a very kind of scholarly place, which I like, I'm enjoying. So Sophie was part of this investigation to the ridge, and so you're getting her letters to E about her time at the ridge, and we're also just having Verin talk about Henry and how Henry was as a person and getting some of their letters to one another, and it's just really nice. It's kind of way that they're seeing it as being able to connect to siblings that they've lost, and it's kind of bittersweet, but it's just really well done. So you're getting actually a glimpse at all four characters at the same time through these different letters. letters. So you do get letters from Sophie to E and vice versa. You get the letters from E and Henry, and you get letters from Henry and Varian, and the way it's all done is just really good. And you also sometimes get article about the expedition to the ridge that was exchanged, and just like all these different bits of information that are being exchanged. But I really love it. I'm really enjoying it, and it is all about this focus on underwater life, also the ridge and what's happening there. I'm quite curious about that, especially because it seems to have not ended so well that they're kind of alluding to, but obviously Sophie made it, so I'm not sure how it didn't end well. There's also talk about what it is like in a scholarly institute and the prejudices people can have against it, and I like that. This is also very gay, which is great. We have Sophie that is married to a wife, we have Verin who has a husband. You know, it's very inclusive, it's very nonchalant, so I enjoy that as well. This is just good. It's a beautiful world, it seems like. I mean, it's a fantasy world, but it's so nice and light, and it's kind of like how in the Labyrinth of Drakes you've kind of got the very our world problems of overusing things and therefore putting these dragons at risk, which honestly we can, as I mentioned, you could definitely see if dragons were around today, they would be used for their materials as much as we can. You know, that's unfortunately the society we have. This one feels a little bit different, more scholarly in that, but also just more accepting of things and more accepting of women being part of these like scholarly pursuits and stuff, which obviously you couldn't have in the Labyrinth of Drakes, but that's kind of like the time that this is modelled after, whereas this I can feel is very much set in the future and therefore a more accepting place. It's been very nice. I'm really looking forward to reading more of this morning. I don't know how far I'm going to get into it, but I'm also off tomorrow and I don't have any plans tomorrow apart from getting my nails done. And okay, well, I've got like YouTube filming stuff, but I'm not actually busy going out doing things apart from getting my nails done. So I do plan on being able to get a lot of this read. I honestly want to finish it this weekend, which seems like a long thing for me to be able to do, but this, I think I've got just under 300 pages to go. I feel like it's also possible because I am off, and I do tend to read more when I'm off work and I'm not too busy. But that's it for this update. I will update you probably when I've got a good chunk of the way through A Letter to the Luminous Deep and just see what I got up to this weekend. Like I say, busy today. I was meant to have been meeting my sister. Unfortunately, she can't make it. She's hurt her ankle, but I'm going up into central London. Yeah, we'll just see where it goes from there. And then like I say, it's nail day and I've got lots of filming and things to do. I also need to start like my October reset video, and I've got all these different things going on, so I'm gonna be like busy, but I also know that I will be giving myself time to chill out and read, and I also really want to play Animal Crossing as well, so we're gonna somehow fit it all in. On Sunday, and I have had a really busy YouTube day. So I've done some filming. I was meant to be filming videos for October, which I filmed one of them, and then I filmed a video for November and forgot to film the other October video. Don't ask me what happened, I'm not entirely sure. I was just very excited to be doing book recommendations because I've got one coming out in November and one coming out in October. Ended up doing both today when it was meant to be the anticipated releases and one of the recommendation videos, but never mind. Brain went, no, we're doing both the book recommendation videos today. I did have fun doing it though, although my memory card was having a bit of a hissy fit with me and we had a bit of a few technical problems, but we got there. We also did some work for my reset video, so made progress on that and started editing this vlog. So it's been a really productive day. I started my day at about, I want to say 8 in the morning, and it's now 3 o'clock, so I feel like we've done a good work day. Like, it's been good. And honestly, after finishing up this vlog and starting the new vlog, I think I'm gonna leave it there for YouTube work for today because I'm tired. I've done a lot. But part of today though, I did finish A Letter to the Luminous Deep, and I really enjoyed this. So I will say there is a few parts in this that feel very slow and maybe a few letters that we don't necessarily need, but it all ties together really well, and if you can stick with it, I do think the mystery of it is worth the payment. Is worth it. I don't know where I was going with that. Can you tell I'm tired? It's been a long day. A good day, productive day, but a long day nonetheless. But yeah, I did really enjoy this. So it's a very slow book. It is slow moving, and that's something that I kind of noticed the most with light academia. Having this reading week and comparing it to dark academia books that I have read and enjoyed. And it's the level of tension and the pacing that feels the most different. Obviously, you do have one a lot darker and one, well, they're not that dark. You do have this mystery element going on in here, but it doesn't feel very dark like a dark academia book. So say for example, well, we almost knocked everything over, but say for example, If We Were Villains. This is quite a dark book. We're seeing the toxicity of people, the friendship group, and how all of that turns really dark, how they take their obsession with Shakespeare a bit too far in their reenactments and things. This book, obviously you don't have any of that, but there is still a mystery element of what's happening here. So as the book goes on, it kind of meanders a little bit, and especially in that middle segment just kind of seems more of like a love story between E and Henry, and we're getting to know them really well. We get to know all of their little quirks, like the fact that E really struggles with her mindset, that her brain is constantly telling her things of, oh, if you don't do this right now, this terrible thing's going to happen, or these certain things. And as much as she can go, okay, it's irrational, but she can't stop it, she can't get over it. As a result, she ends up not being able to do well around other people and has really extreme difficulty with being able to communicate with others, and stresses and worries to a very extreme extent. And Henry also has its own little quirks about things, and so you're really starting to see these two people open up to one another in a way that they may not have done with anybody else, that had not felt so comfortable with. And that's what I really liked about this. It was very nice. It was meandering. In that middle part, I did have to take more breaks with this because I was finding, as much as I was really loving the writing style and I did enjoy the epistolary format, it wasn't something I could sit there and spend hours and hours reading because there were slow moments. But it's not a bad thing either. Like, I liked the tone and the coziness that this was giving. And then as we get towards the end, it's not that it increases its pace in any way, it's that the mystery amps up. The things that surround the mystery of what's happened to E and Henry, you finally start getting answers for. And I really like that. And yes, this could have been done in a different way, where we get those answers a lot sooner and then they start investigating what actually happened. But I also really liked the way this was done because you really got to connect to your characters doing it this way. It meant it took a lot longer, but you really understand your characters and the relationship that's being built, and also the relationship between the siblings, between Sophie and E, and also Artfist, their brother and sister, and how their relationship and how difficult certain things were. And then you get certain revelations at the end, and I really liked it. And also just the concept, this world itself was so well thought out and so imaginative, and I really enjoyed that. Like, it was a brilliant concept. This is the start of a series, and I do intend to get the next book. I really would recommend, but do keep in mind it is a slow paced book, and in light academia, traditional light academia, as I've been noticing, it's not massively plot forward in the sense that there's going to be lots of things keeping your engagement, focusing you, and it's more of a character study. But I also really liked it. Like, it was really nice and heartwarming, but I can understand that this is not going to be a book for everyone. But I think if you are after a nice cozy light academia fantasy, that would be a really good book for it. I also forgot to mention that I did finish The Last Murder at the End of the World. Loved that, loved the twists and turns, thought it was fantastic, really enjoyed that one, I'm not gonna lie. Would I reread it? Yes, probably, though probably not anytime soon. I will say this is my favourite book by this author. I mean, I've only read 2 of their books, but I definitely really enjoyed this one just because of how it blended the different genres together, and I just found it really interesting and fun to follow. So I really liked that one. Really pleased it's done so well in Discord, so that's been great. And to wrap up this vlog, I did indeed finish The Labyrinth of Drakes at the start of this video, and I've just really enjoyed this light academia reading week. I think it's been very relaxing because the books themselves have been very slower character studies, bit of romance in both of them, but nothing too much, and I don't know, it's just been really calming. The reading has been, which has been nice. Is Letter to the Luminous Deep going to be a brand new favourite for me? Probably not, but do I really like it? Yeah. The same with Labyrinth of Drakes. This is not my favourite one out of the series, but it's part of a series that is just that comforting series, and that's kind of what this reading week has been. It's just been comforting. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. It's been a nice comforting reading week, very low stakes, very chill, and I've appreciated for that, and I've enjoyed both of these books and the way they describe their passions, and the fact that both of these were nature academia was really nice as well. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this reading week, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please let me know, have you read any light academia books? Is it something you're interested in, or do you prefer books with a little bit more substance to them, a little bit more plot forward, a little bit more pacey, tension, you know, something a bit more to them than this very chill, relaxed, academic look character study. Anyway, I feel like I've rambled on and repeated myself quite a bit, but I hope you're all okay. I hope you've enjoyed this, and yeah, I've already asked the questions about what do you think of light academia and stuff, so I'm gonna go. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I know I say it all the time, I say it whenever people leave comments and things, and also at the end of every video, but I genuinely do mean it. Like, I really appreciate it. I love the community that we're building. It's time to go, so thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, then let's leave a pen emoji in the comments below. If you've made it this far, you just don't know what to comment. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribing, and commenting. Those 3 things really help this channel out. My social media links and anyone I've mentioned will be linked below for you, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.